Sup ID. Hi everybody. Welcome to week 6 of our Lao Learning Sessions. This week we're going to be discussing compound consonants. So in Lao there are basic consonants and then there's something called compound consonants, or they would be combinations. Just like in English we have compound consonants. Sometimes they're considered diphthongs, or we have examples like th or ng that make sounds. Now in Lao, the compound consonants make the sound of only one letter because the second letter is silent. So let's say, for instance, we could use the example in English. We have the silent letter E. So when it's next to a consonant in English, the silent E at the end of a word, you would only say the sound of the letter that it's next to. So let's take, for example, the word same, S-A-M-E. We would say same, and the last sound that you hear in same is the letter M because the E is silent. So in Lao, we have 6 compound consonants, and the key to these compound consonants is that it's going to be the sound of the last letter that you see in the 2-letter combination. Okay, so we're using consonants that you already know, that you've already learned in the basic consonants, and the key to these consonants is that the letter H is placed in front of the second letter, and you only say the name of the second letter. So let's get started, and then you'll see the 6 examples that we have here. So the first compound consonant is nga. Now you recognize the second letter, nga. This is probably one of your favorite sounds to make. But if you notice, the H, the ha, letter ha, is in front of nga, but you only pronounce the letter nga. Okay, so this compound would be nga. Okay, so as we go forward, you're going to recognize how much easier this is because you already know the second letters. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is nya. So the second letter is the letter nya. Again, the letter ha is sitting in front of it, but ha is silent. So we have nya. Next, we have na. The letter na is the second letter, as you know, and of course H is in front of it. Okay, see how easy it's getting? Let's go to the next one. Here we have ma. Okay, the second letter is ma. The first letter, of course, is the letter ha, or the H sound. But again, what is it? It's silent. Okay. Here we have 2 renditions of what's going to be the letter la. Okay, so now the first one is almost like, I guess we could call that an abbreviation of la. Okay, and it's the letter H with this little symbol underneath. Okay, now sometimes this letter, of course, la, is pronounced as an R in regional pronunciations. Okay, but for the most part we're going to be using the L pronunciation with this letter, la. Okay, and then of course on the right hand side we have ha and la, which make la as well. Okay, so we're going to use the L sound for la. Okay, so again, you will need to learn both of these because from time to time you're going to see one or the other. Even in the publications, the text in the publications, you're going to see both renditions of this letter. So become familiar with la on the left hand side and the compound consonant law on the right-hand side. The last one we have is va. Okay, you have va on the right, and you have, of course, ha on the left. And remember that va sometimes is pronounced as a W sound, so you may hear it pronounced wa, okay? But for the most part, va, but again, it depends on where it's located in the word, okay? But for the most part, va, okay? So that's easy, right? Okay, so now let's take a review. Let's review one of these compound consonants, and we're going to do the one that's probably the most tricky. This one. Do you remember what this is? Well, your hint is going to be on the right, but again, we really need to learn both renditions of this. And again, this is the letter law. Okay, you have the law abbreviation combination on the left, and then you have the compound version on the right. Now both of them are considered compounds, but it's easier to see the compound, the two-letter combination on the right, okay? But on the left, think of ha on top as one letter, and the symbol on the bottom as the L sound. So there's your compound. Okay, so again, this is law. There we are. And again, remember, sometimes it's pronounced as R, ra. So just be mindful of that. Okay, now we're going to move on to something else. We're going to give your brain a break a little bit, and instead of more letters, we're going to learn numbers, okay? Okay, so now we're going to give your brain a break, and we're going to consider numbers. So we're going to consider numbers 1 through 20, all right? So now some of you may have already started learning your numbers, but for those of you who have not, okay, we're going to go from 0 to the number 20, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use the phonetic letter sounds for the names of each number. So instead of actually learning the Lao symbol for each number, we're going to just learn the English or the Latin number, and then we're going to learn the phonetic sound that that number is called in Lao. Okay, the phonetic sound for that number. So again, it's the sound that we're focusing on right now. At another time, we'll learn the actual Lao symbol, but the reason that we're doing it this way is because in the publications that we're reading, we're not going to see the Lao symbols for the numbers. We're going to see the Latin equivalent for the numbers that we know. Okay, so really what we want to learn is the Lao name for these numbers, and so we're going to use the phonetic until we really learn how to read some more. We're going to learn the phonetic sounds that equate the number names. Okay, here we go. So the first one is 0, and the word for 0 is soon. Soon. Okay, so think of it as soon. Soon we're going to get to the number 1. Okay, so soon. Soon is 0. Number 1 is noon. 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 Okay, noon. And to make it easier to pronounce, if you look at the phonetic in the brackets, you'll see N-E-W, new, and then the N-G sound, so you've got noon, okay? But that's the easier way to think of it in pronunciation. Okay? But eventually, remember, eventually we're going to get rid of these phonetics, so really concentrate on the sound. Okay, so 1 is nung, 2 is song, song, okay, song, all right, that's number 2. Number 3 is sam, sam, okay, sam. Number 4 is C, C. 4 is C. Oops. Sorry, number 5 is ha, ha, ha. Like the sound of a laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Number 6 is hok, hok. That long O sound, hok. Okay. Number 7 is jet, jet, jet. Like I'm going to jet, jet. Okay. 7. Number 8 is bat, bat, bat. Okay, almost like you're saying bad, 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 okay, but bat, bat, and it actually has a T sound on the end, okay, so bat or bat, okay. Number 9 is gao, 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 okay. Number 10 is sip, sip, okay, sip. Number 11. Now, starting with number 11, we're going to use 10, and then we're going to add the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The only irregular to how we're going to use that combination of 10 and 1, 10 and 2, 10 and 3, 10 and 4, that's basically what we're saying, is 11. Instead of 11 being sip nung, it's sip et. Okay, so 11 is sip et. 12 is sip song. So you learned song for 2, so it's 10 and 2, sip song. 13 is sip sam. Okay, you see the combination there, 10 and 3, sip sam. 14 is sip si, sip si. 15, sip ha, sip ha. 16, sip hok, sip hok. 17, sip jet, sip jet. 18, sip bat, sip bat. 19, sip gao, sip gao. And then 20 is sao, sao. So there's 2 numbers that sound very similar, gao and sao. Okay, so gao is 9, sao is 20, but we have sip gao, which is 19, and sao, which is 20. So this will be handy when we get to speaking about chapters and verses. So I thought it would be helpful to know how to say chapter and verse. So chapter in Lao is bat, and verse is ka. So if you want to say chapter 1, verse 3, it would be Bat Nung Ka Sam. Or if you want to say chapter 6, verse 7, it would be Bat Hok Kao Jit. Okay, so practice as you're saying your numbers. Practice saying chapter and verse. So pick a number for the chapter, pick a verse. It might be easy if you start with chapter 1, verse 1, or chapter 2, verse 2. That way you get to say the number twice, but you also get to say the words for chapter and verse as well. So that might be helpful, and it would definitely will be handy going forward. Okay. So now we're going to do a practice of those numbers that we just went through. So let's go from 0 to 20, and let's see if you can remember some of the numbers. Now you might not remember all of them because there's 20, or actually 21, including 0, but try to see if you can remember a few, okay? And as you continue to practice, trust me, you'll get all 20. Here we go. So, how did you do? Did you get any? Did you get all of them? Hopefully you got a few, and as you continue practicing once again, you will get all 20. So going forward, we are going to take a little break from numbers and letters for a moment, and in the next lesson we're going to learn a few helpful expressions that we'll be able to use so that we can feel like we're actually communicating. Alright, so thank you for joining us for week 6, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Keep practicing, and feel free to download the practice sheets for these compound consonants and the numbers from the website, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.